My name is Norman Hewetson from Stringstown, Westport, and I'm 92 years of age. And I was born in Westport, up in the Laurels on Prospect Avenue. And I lived all my lifetime in Westport, and I did an awful lot of fishing because my father did fishing and shooting. And he represented Ireland 5 times, fished for Ireland, and after that I fished for and represented Ireland 6 times and was captain of the Irish team.
And what year was that, Norman?
About 1953 or something like
1953. And where was that held?
Lochleven. We used to have to fly over to Lochleven in Scotland. It was a lake in Scotland.
Was there good fish in it?
There was.
Mm.
But we had a disadvantage because the English fellas were all hand-picked and they were fishing it a week or two before we get up there altogether. It was awful hard to
compete with them, yeah.
The only thing we did then was we were cute enough. Mm. We went to a few of the local pubs in Lochleven and we started talking to the locals and they started telling us a lot about the lake. And when we stood a few drinks, they started bringing us flies to try on it, so we weren't too stupid.
No, you were using the head.
Yeah, working the head.
And what was fishing like around Westport that time? Was it popular? Were there many doing it that time?
Yeah, there was. It's nothing like it now at all.
Would you catch a lot of fish?
You would.
And what kind of fish were you on to that time?
It was mostly brown trout and mask mostly, and an odd time in carp and con.
What was the biggest one you ever got?
8 pounds on a fly. And Jerry Hall was with me one day and we got a 14-pounder on a fly.
Was the trout, was it?
Yeah, trout.
Would you ever catch a salmon that time?
And yes. Mm. We used to fish out in the Brown in Louisburg River. And the belt there. And
were there a lot of fish in the river that time? There was?
There was. There's hardly any sea trout in it at all now.
What do you think happened to sea trout?
I don't know what all these trawlers and things are outside, I suppose.
Been overfished?
Overfished.
And who were the big fishermen around here besides yourself and your father?
There was Toby Gibbons,
yeah.
And there was Pat Kelly at Bridge Street, and there was John Gibbons at Bridge Street, and all.
Pat Kelly had a shop?
Sidney Costello out in
Napa, yeah.
Napa.
Mm. And was there a fishing club in town that time?
Oh, there was.
And that's the same club as is here now, yeah?
Well, it is, yes,
it
because
is.
Toby's son over there is still fishing, and I think they hold a lot of meetings there, you know.
And when do you think that fishing club was founded? It must be very old, is it?
I think it was founded by my father, and he used to write under a name called the Connemara Black in all the articles. Every article, Connemara Black.
The Connemara Black was a fly, wasn't it? Was it?
It was a fly.
Fly, yeah.
And that was his
pseudonym.
And that was that time.
And you had what kind of business were you in? You had a shop?
Yeah.
Fishing. Where did you come from originally? Where did you come from?
Well,
the Hewetsons.
He came to Attle first to the Dugart, and he was running the place for a Scotchman, and then he came to Westport and opened up the.
And what kind of a business was in Dugart?
Well, it had to collect rents and all that kind of thing.
Oh, he was an agent, kind of an agent at the time, yeah?
Yeah.
So he was down Dugart?
Yeah.
And was he married down there, or was he?
No, he wasn't married. He was in the 1418 war.
Was he?
He was.
And he come through it, obviously he came through it. No.
This is the bullet now. When my father was in the 1418, he had it on a belt and it went sideways, and he was lucky not to be killed with it.
So it was hit by another bullet?
Hit by another bullet, yeah.
And it didn't explode?
This was like in his belt here, and it didn't explode.
It didn't explode?
No.
He was a lucky man.
Oh, he was.
He was a lucky man. And what was he doing in the war?
He was on the canals, on a boat in the canals. He was an engineer on the boat, and they go up at night time and bring ammunition and collect the wounded and bring them back.
Bring them back up again. Yeah. And that was in France, was it?
That was in France.
Okay. Did you tell him any stories about it? Or?
He did. I've even photographs there of it.
Have you?
Yeah.
And when he came to Westport, then what did he do?
He opened up the shop.
On Bridge Street?
Bridge Street.
And who did he buy it off?
As far as I know, there were Kennedys. Yeah. They owned a lot of property on Bridge Street. And he opened it up in about 1912. And even though it's 1920 now, I didn't put the 1920, but the man that bought it did, but it would appear why he got 1920. He rented it out first in 1912, and he didn't buy it until 1920. That's why 1912. So it's there a long time.
And what was in it before he bought it?
It was a fish shop.
A fish shop?
Yeah.
Okay.
I had photographs of it.
Yeah. And what did he open up a fish and tackle shop then?
Yeah, yeah.
And it has been that more or less since?
Yeah. He used to sell guns.
That's 100 years now.
Oh, it is.
It's 100 years, yeah. And he sell guns as well?
Yeah.
And was there a good market for fishing tackle that time?
Oh, there was.
Mm.
They used to be always up from Newport House and down from...
And who was buying the stuff off them? Were the locals buying it or was it?
The locals and all visitors.
And the visitors, yeah.
And the reason he did so well, if anyone came and went out fishing, they go into the shop. And if it was a Monday, he could tell them about all the catches were caught on Sunday and what they were caught on, and they got all the information that they required. And that's why they kept coming, you know.
So he was a knowledgeable man on the fishing.
Yeah.
And he fished for Ireland as well.
He did. He fished 5 times.
He fished a lot himself actually.
Oh, he did.
Would he be out every day in summer nearly, he would?
He'd be out every Sunday anyhow.
Every Sunday, yeah.
And if it was good fishing weather and the shop was closed, he'd say, I'm gone fishing and you should be too because it's a lovely day for fishing. And he'd have that plastered over.
And who did he get married to then?
He got married to, she was an English girl that he met in England. She was Helen. She was an only daughter.
And what was her second name?
Clayton.
Clayton, okay.
Yeah, Clayden.
And he lived in the Elms and had the shop down the street then,
That's
was it?
correct, yes.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah.
That's, I show you the photographs they were.
Yeah. Actually, it was the Laurels, not the Elms,
The
isn't it?
Laurels.
The Laurels, yeah. And when did you leave the Laurels then?
Well then, he got Bridge Street done up then. I think he had his rent through overhead to a draper or something. And he got that done up and we moved down. And I went to college in Mountjoy. Not the prison, no. I went some scholarship and assisted, you know, out of the, and that was it.
And what were you studying in Mountjoy? Did you leave in cert there, did you?
No.
What was it?
I went as a young fella, and when I came back, I hated the sight of being up in Dublin on my own, when I was a young fella.
So you left school early?
Yeah, and then I got a job in Pollixfins down
the quay, yeah?
I went the quay, and I was there, and then I was the bookkeeper with Mary Nestor, and she was a tough one because you wouldn't make much mistakes with her.
In Pollixfins, is it?
Yeah. And then Jack Murphy was on the road for them, a traveller, and he retired and I went out on the road. I got on the road with him.
And what year was that?
Oh, there's I forget now. And anyway, eventually Pollixfins and Ballysadare were taken over by Odlums.
Right.
And they closed the place in Sligo and were all out, and they kept me on. And I represented Odlums then until I retired.
And what age did you retire at?
I retired about 60, 65 or something.
65, yeah. So you've had a good long retirement.
I had.
Did you continue the fishing for a while after that, or did you?
Then I continued in the shop for 7 or 8 years after that. And then my wife and I said, sure, wouldn't we kill ourselves, we'd sell it, and we sold it. And just when you think you had everything solved, she got sick and died.
And died, yeah.
And that was
That was sad. Who bought the shop off you?
Sheehan.
Ray Sheehan, yeah.
A man called Ray Sheehan. And he's there at the moment, or his son's there, I think.
And he never changed as much?
No, and there was a preservation order on it because that's why Hewetson brothers are still on it. He couldn't put his name.
He can't put his name on it.
Whatever. I don't know what the regulations are now.
Very popular shop.
Yeah.
People love to go in there and rummage around it
Yeah.
and look at all the fishing rods and the
Yeah.
gear and the books and the...
Yeah.
Did you sell worms there?
No.
Did you ever sell worms?
No.
No. All flies and spoons.
Flies and spoons and dentons and spinners and all that kind of thing.
What was the best bait? What was the best fly you could use around here?
Well, but the olives were very good, sooty olives,
Dirty
and
olives.
golden olives, and black pennel was a very popular ply. Still is, I think.
Mm. Did you tie your own?
Well, I was often awkward at times with some of my father, but when we tie one and try it, then we'd send it off to a fellow called Rogan in Ballyshannon, who was a famous tie player, and had to tie it then.
Okay. And what was the best spinner around here?
What was that? Gold Devon, I think.
Devon, yeah. Did you ever hear of Voblix?
Wobblex, yeah.
Yeah. That was the pike, was it?
Yes.
Or trout?
Oh, anything that I take it.